And there we were, just listening to actually an incredible demo track written by Troels Foreman, who happens to be the developer of the library that we're going to talk about today. He and Colin O'Malley both are leading the team of 8DIO. And they kindly provided me with an NFR copy for the Century Brass bundle. And so today we are going to take a closer look at exactly that Century Brass bundle from ADIO, whatever you want to call it. And it's a bundle of ensemble and solo brass, and let's dive straight in and see what we can actually say about it. I had around a day to play around a little bit and to prepare for the stream. And so, yeah, we are going to really take a close look at what is included. Right now, I prepared a little bit of a template just to make things a little bit more convenient when we're working alongside a track or try to come up with something. But I've loaded a patch that is not connected to any reverb or any plugins in the mastering chain or whatever. So it's plain sound out of the box. So there's no bells and whistles there. And I've loaded up the French horn solo patch. And when you initially load it, that's what it sounds like. So loads with a staccatissimo articulation. By the way, guys, if you got any issues regarding the sound or if there are any oddities, please let me know in the chat. And welcome everybody tonight. So, this is the interface that applies to the whole library. So whatever you load, it always looks pretty much the same. You got the articulation browser. We will take a look at that in a little bit. We have some knobs, dynamics, expression, speed, release tails, vibrato, and legato volume. There is an included convolution reverb in case you want to use it. You got the microphone positions and equalizer, low, mid, high, in case you want to tweak anything with the EQ. And you got the famous ADIO effects rack where you can further mangle the sound if you wish to do so. So double click on the articulation opens the articulation browser. And there we go. And overall, they went pretty extensively with this release. One thing to keep in mind and to mention what I found out is that there are inconsistencies in between some of the instruments. So sometimes you got the fanfare shorts, so you don't have that in every instrument. Then you have, so not all the articulations are 100% the same throughout, but we will take a closer look and see what is actually included. So, as I said, you can either change the articulation on the channel that you're working on and change that to fanfare shorts, or so expression is CC11. And the speed knob is actually there to control the speed of, for example, there are dynamic arcs that you can change the length of, and also from the short notes. So, or there's not that much of a difference. Let's try it with the arc. So there's definitely an audible difference. with a so that's definitely different there. It might be easier to actually put this on a certain MIDI CC. So in this case, I put it on CC2, which happens to be the knob that I just got free lying around here on my keyboard, and that way so even on playback you can change the speed. And these are not mod wheel controllable, but actually they're velocity sensitive, so when you play really soft you get a different arc than when you play harder. And then you can control the speed, as I mentioned before, with the speed knob. So, long story short, let's take a look at what is actually included. So we got a Dio brass. So we got bass trombone, cimbasso, flugelhorn, French horn, horns A12, A2, A6, solo trombone, trombones, three trombones, trumpet, two trumpets, four trumpets, and a solo tuba. That's all that's included in the bundle. So some of that is the solo brass, and the stuff where you got more players is the ensemble brass. We can directly load up one of the other patches. Let's check out the bass trombone. So this is what it try out a crescendo. And again, this is speed controllable. So there's obviously a difference in the tempo. Again, staccatissimo, staccato. For example, here we don't have fanfare shorts. So that's what I mentioned at the beginning. There are some slight inconsistencies in between. They might have a reason for why they didn't choose to include all the same articulations for all instruments. It would have been easier when you work with key switches and expression maps and want to interchange parts. So when you can pretty fast set up your instrument, like having the short articulations first and then going on soaring shorts. Or let's load this up here. Say we have a legato. Sorry, missed the spot there. Sustain. So for this instrument we can load all the available articulations at once and have them accessible via key switch. So the legato is actually speed controllable as well. So when you dial it all the way up, you can play pretty fast. Given the fact that it's a bass trombone, it's actually pretty has a pretty great range. And then you can bring the speed all the way down. Then you can also control dynamics and expression at the same time. So right now I have two faders on my keyboard here. So there's a pretty great dynamic range there. Let's check out one or some of the mic positions. So you got a mixed microphone position. Then you have the close mics. And then we got the Deca tree. And the white position. Sorry, I think I just might get rid of the auto gate on my microphone. Sorry for that. So that's white. Again, Deca. And close. When you combine these, and that's the mixed position. Actually, for the tracks that I've loaded here, I just went with the mixed position because it actually sounds pretty cool. Let's go on. So one of my favorites regarding the sound, and that was heavily featured in the demo we heard in the beginning that Trollz has done, which is an amazing track, I think. And like you can see, there are a few more articulations available in this instrument. So some coincide, some are different than in the other instruments. Let's check out the legato here. And let's bring the speed a little bit up. Pretty great dynamic range. So as I said, there is Drum Your Boy, Century Brass, generally solo patches. No, it's solo and ensemble. I will come to the ensemble patches in a bit. So there's an included reverb, like if you want to go and put the brass into a church, you could just load an impulse response here and let's give it a little bit more. So there's a good amount of options. And also we can bring that down, and for example I have included a reverb as a send in my DAW. So this is the Flugelhorn. Let's check out some of the combined patches. So for example, the 6 Horns Ensemble patch. There we go. And let's just learn the speed knob and turn off the reverb again. And let's check out the legato. When we bring the speed knob a little bit up. Pretty great range there. I have the feeling that it's not going all the way down to double P. Well, pretty close. Make them blast. So yeah, the dynamic range is pretty impressive. I can only say that. Let's add a little bit of the reverb. I think these horns sound pretty amazing. Rips. Then one thing is I've watched the videos that Trolls and Colin have done walking through the library and the patches. They have an intention with their soaring patches, like they are super like an arc after the initial short note. But what I'm missing is the ability to decide how long I actually want this note to ring. So there is no release key or no release sound. So when you lift the key up, it still sounds till the end of the note. See what I mean? And if you turn the speed knob down, it rings even longer. So you that was Germish, sorry for that. So you can't stop these articulations. I would wish in a future update that they might include release triggers so that I can actually decide on my own how long I want it to sound, not only with a speed knob, but also just with a key release. No, it's not tempo synced. You can control the length to a certain degree with the speed knob, but still when I'm coming from, let's say we have a short articulations and I jump over to the soaring longs here, there. And say I want to have that short, that was the soaring long articulation. Let's take the short one. So I can't really control how long this is sounding beside the speed knob. Same goes for the Mercado short articulation. So it's ringing longer than when I lift the key, so I would love to have a release information there on the note off command, but that's actually whining on really high levels. So overall, these are just some minor nimbles. The tone is absolutely incredible. So there's a double tongue patch for these, triple tongue. So I have not really, so they are not tempo synced, and you can control them to a certain degree with the speed knob. Then we have Flutter Tongue. The short arcs again. And crescendo. And there, for example, for the 6 horns, we have muted articulations as well. One thing to keep in mind with this library, it's not recorded in situ, which means not in player position, but it's all in the center. So you can either, when you load the patch, take your audio channel in your DAW. Let's bring that a little bit further apart here. And do it that way, and just pan the instruments where you feel they belong in the stereo field on the stage. What I have the feeling is that I think Colin did that in his demo, that he just used the Logic panners of the channels. I actually prefer to use the Waves Imager for these kind of tasks. I just have the feeling that it sounds a little bit better when positioning. That's why these guys are loaded up all over here, because for the brass instrument that I've loaded, I just spread them out a little bit in the stereo field. And let's go and just check some the Waves Imager CPU heavy, not on my end. So I have 20 instances or something like that running, and my CPU is pretty cool with it, so no problem there. Let's just check some of the other instruments. So we got, for example, 4 trumpets. Let's check these out. To make things a little bit shorter, I have all the instruments loaded here. So I will just get rid of this channel that I opened up for demo purposes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just muting the reverb channel, so we still get the sound out of the library as is without any add-ons. So as I've said, I've loaded up all the mixed positions. And as you can see, it works really, really well. For explanation, what I did, I actually created an expression map with the articulations that I feel I would use the most. and made them all the same for all instruments. And since I've mentioned that some of the articulations, like let's compare that here, for example, with the 6 French horns and the Flugelhorn. So there I have, that's my setup: staccato, fanfare short, staccatissimo, fanfare short, staccato, marcato short, soaring long, legato, sustain, and the arcs. So this is the basic setup that I had, and I can always load an additional instrument if I feel that I need additional articulations. So I wanted to have that the same for all the instruments. And since some of the instruments don't have all the articulations from the other, for example, the Flugelhorn has no staccatissimo, and that's why there's an empty slot here, because otherwise it will just mess things up. Actually, I'm realizing that you can't even see me, right? So there we go. Hi, everybody. And another thing is that I've done, you can see my iPad screen here. Let's bring that a little bit up. And there I have the articulations, so that I can switch them without thinking about key switches or anything like that. So when I bring that up again, and I click on staccatissimo, there's nothing happening in the Flugelhorn because there is no staccatissimo articulation in that instrument. So I'm jumping to fanfare shorts. Then marcato short is also an empty slot because there is no marcato short there. So that way I can play all the instruments without thinking about key switches anymore. Just have my iPad with the controls, just jump to the solo trumpet, hit legato, and then I can play. And also I did set up the speed control on control 2, so that whatever instrument I have, I can control the speed for the legato, for example. So that works pretty cool. And as well on CC3, I put some of the instruments allow an vibrato control. So that's pretty cool. And so I have got enough of no reverb, so let's switch that on. So now we have the solo tuba. We haven't heard that before. Maybe I should show you the iPad screen so that you can actually see. I just turn it a little bit down. Then you could actually see what I'm doing here. So when I hit, so that's helpful, so at least you can see which articulation we're activating. Solo Chimbasso, we haven't heard that one yet. There are some inconsistencies in volume, which is my fault because I kind of set all the instruments to -6 on contact, so I haven't worked yet on balancing the whole thing. So pretty cool. We haven't checked the 12 horns yet. Pretty cool so far. So let's bring the noise level a little bit down of the mic. And well, let's see if we can do something with it and actually write a little bit and see how it behaves when we include it. So I loaded up a few patches. Since this is the brass of a deal that we are going to check out today, I decided to, I don't have the century strings and they are not released yet. I think they come mid-December. They are going to be released. So I de-dusted a little bit my old adagio and adagietto and agitato strings. So and especially I forgot about how beautiful the cello actually is, or the cellos. So this is the stuff that I am using today, and there's by far from finished. Actually, what I wanted to do is first of all load up a piano to actually try to sketch something or see what we're going to do here. So piano. Let's go with the Grunder, and there are some preset patches which are pretty nice, and especially these ones. So let's go with a plain production music piano. Turn a little bit down. I'm in the mood for a little bit more, something more calm and melodic, and kind of rich, so not in the mood for an action track today. And so let's do some, maybe it's because Christmas is right around the corner. So let's do something rather sweet today and try to make them shine and see how they behave in such a context. So first things first is to actually think of something that we can do. C major. And F major. Actually, that was nice. I mean, it's Christmas time, right? So it's a little bit Christmassy. It's such a perfect day. I'm not sure if that's really what we're going for. Do we really want to go Christmassy stuff? What do we have here? Omnisphere? I tried something there. That was actually a nice effect. Just loading up a patch. So, for example, if you don't have the ideal Aura libraries with all the synth pulses and all that stuff and all the little things going on there's actually a neat little trick. So take whatever pad you want and then you open up a plugin like, for example, the Cable Guy's Volume Shaper, which is initially was a plugin for kind of the sidechain compression effect for electronic dance music. Like you have these where you got the suppression of the kick moment. And but what they actually provided is some nice rhythmic patterns. And when you bring in a little bit of the mix again, you get a nice, not so clouded pad sound. So whatever the reverb time is, etc., it doesn't matter. It doesn't smear through your mix and actually keeps room for other instruments, although the sound might be pretty full. And the cool thing is that it adjusts to whatever tempo you're working on. Let's check out another patch here. Maybe we start with something like that. It sounds a little bit more interesting. Let's go with a basic chord scheme here. So D minor, D minor 9, or sus2, B major, let's go with something straight here. So turn on the click, 2, 3, 4. I think I messed up the timing there, but so good for now. Let's hard quantize this stuff to the grid. So we start on. Actually, I wanted to have a sus2 here. Okay, let's start with this. So basic D minor, B major, D minor, C major. Do we need an chord? No, not a folder. A chord track to keep track with what we're doing. So since every time a few guys request these, let's just include it. And do another MIDI track, chords, and don't connect that. Not connected, and please use this chord string, and then we can get rid of it. Okay, so there we go. Make it red, and then what will we have? D minor. And we have a D minor sus2. There we go. We go with a B major. Actually A sharp or B flat major, sorry. There we go. Then D minor again. And then we have a C major. So that's really basic. Can't go any more simple than this. just copy that over, and we might change the chord in the second run. So let's. Just trying out different chord or arpeggios, ostinatos for the strings that maybe not go too Zimmerish. So something on the 16th. Let's go with something like this to start with. At least we have something to begin with. See how that sounds on its own. A little bit too much of a dynamic jump around. Let's shorten all these guys a little bit. Now, when we combine it with the synth, okay. Need to start somewhere, right? And especially since we want to talk about the brass and we haven't done any brass yet. I messed something up here. Basic. And maybe what we can also do is on the synth, to give it even a little bit more movement, do a pan man, for example. In this case, this is sound toys. Let's say we want it in rhythmic steps, and let's take half a note or a full bar, and width not totally, but smooth it out. Yeah, I think that's good. So when we maybe half the time. So there it creates a movement between left and right. Yeah, that's nice. Just a little bit background information there. And these are lacking a little bit. Lagging, no, not lacking. Let's say, put them -15. And the violins, let's check. Sounds a little bit better, but a little bit before the beat, so they are keeping it forward. And I think the second violins even sound a little bit sharper. These are from Adagio, I think. And I can switch the patch here, so let's try a different sound there. And make them all a little bit. I think that sounds good. A little bit too much. -14. I think that sounds good. So now we're getting very, very generic, but I get an idea for the sound field that we're working in. So we might entirely change the chords there, but if it helps to get an idea of working on a track, then it's all good. Have you stopped using your key switching patches for CSS? No, I haven't. I just don't use CSS in today's stream. So I don't have my big template loaded, but actually just build a short little template for the brass and using some 8 dio strings. So, and that's why there's the single key switch page for the brass, and it's not changing with the patches. So this is something else. I hate the whole idea of having this omnisphere here with all the little trickery. You saw what I meant, but it's not what I'm aiming for. So let's load something else here. I want to go with something, maybe even start with some 8D or rhythmic aura or something like that. I just need to find the tempo first that we want to work in. I delete everything that we have here. I think I will do something different here. Let's stay. We can stay in. I like that. Sometimes you need to write something down to actually know what you don't want to write. One little bit loud in there. Okay, let's start with this. Hard quantize these guys just a little bit to get a feel, but keep a little bit of playing. And there it happened. I messed it up. Okay, so we have this. Now let's bring in a little bit of life. Rhythmic aura. Let's go with something more synth-based. Let's try the ambience. let's try this. Fine for me. Let's just check out where the filter is going, because I want to start at the same position that I end with there, so that when I loop it, it doesn't really jump the mod wheel data there. So let's make sure we are in the right spot there. So this is something around, well, there we go. Something around 64, and here we end. Let's just end on 64 as well. 66, that's good enough. It's in that Aura one, because I might have the feeling that we take another one. Maybe we take the same rhythm, or we do another. I'm going with the same rhythm as the other string. I think I can even pronounce that more. Let's take this one and then just delete these guys. So kind of different patterns. And then we need to make this guy pretty loud. Ah, that was the wrong one. And then overall, we can bring it down a little bit. Good enough. So strings do this. Let's give them an eighth rhythm in the violas. Eighth quantize. There we go. So why is that not working? Because I am not on the channel. Thank you very much. You can actually hear that there's one round robin where there are actually two notes played at once in these violas. One certain frequency in there that's a little bit annoying, so we need to filter that out. And I just did a low pass, high pass there, low cut, to get rid of the bottom frequencies. And let's do another one here and check out some of the other patches. I think we need some bottom and like a little bit of a bass line or something. So let's try out synth bass 3, for example. Don't like these. Let's check another one. think that sounds pretty cool. So we copy that over. Funny enough, it's the same key as the other one. So that is our low. Actually here we want to have the low frequencies and actually get rid a little bit more of the high stuff. Let's do it more gentle. But still there is some frequency in this guy that is a little bit annoying, so let's bring up a little bit of it's pretty much the filter frequency of the cutoff. But that's better. Okay, slowly it's coming to ideas. Might be more into a hybrid direction where this is going. Later. Let's bring this up and we add a track. Contact. So a little bit of percussion. Let's go with start out with the basic suspects, the usual suspects. I love the Junkie XL low booms from Spitfire. It just sounds amazing. Just a little bit of an improvisation there. Not trying to do too much. Actually, I wanted to do something else, namely this. Yeah. Yeah, there, the pattern is repeating. So I'm going to duplicate this and going with a little bit of hybrid, sticky, stuffy, bang bang. Actually, well, let's look into it. I actually got me the Hybrid Tools Neo and I haven't even touched them yet once. So let's see if we can take something from there. Hits and pulse effects, beats and fills, slice synced. Let's check the beats and fills synced. Come on! Well, actually, this library is sitting on my HDD because usually I drag these samples into projects, not use the contact interface. Let's try this one. Thing to do is actually introduce a little bit of the low brass stuff for the intro. So just doing a little bit of first hit there and doing a little bit of mod wheel to bring it down. So then we let's take the bass trombone. Where is it? Bass trombone. So we want to have the sus. That's pretty straightforward. We have modulation. Come from a little bit more. So give them. That was an octave too high. And in the tuba, actually, let's see if we have the correct articulation we have. We can bring that down there, and overall can turn these guys a little bit down. It was a little bit too loud. Don't want to go all in. Let's try the soaring long there. And actually record the timing. So CC2, and just put in a CC2 information here. So because I want to have it as low as possible to get the longest performance. Do you work into a mastering chain of any kind while working? Usually yes, right now no. So there's no stuff on the master channel. But we haven't crossed the red yet. Sounds pretty cool. So let's do it like this and make sure that we have the information for channel 2 within the field. And second time, let's raise CC2 a little bit and bring this guy a little bit down. Is this guy too early? Yeah. Here. Okay, let's go full throttle in the beginning before we actually decide something melodic that we're going with. Brass on its own is just a plain Actually, I want to turn the trombones a little bit down, but I'm not sure whether this patch is actually reacting to mod wheel. I don't think so. Yeah, no dynamics, so we can only control it via expression. So this means that we're just going to draw a little curve here, bring it a little bit down and turn it. Let's see. So like that better, is not as much in your face. Down here. So from here on, we need to decide something melodic. What is the articulation? That's my iPad screen. What's the articulation box on the bottom right hand corner? That's currently my iPad where I'm controlling the brass key switches. So, just for your info. Okay. Okay, that might be something to work with. So, first things first. No, let's keep it like this. Let's mute these guys for now. To fix a few things here. So, for example, this can stay there. Here we need to go. And so when we get rid of the high strings, then what we have here is changing the chords here in the string. So this is an F. Messed up. Too early. Okay, there needs to be something in between. That's nice. So going via E minor. That can stay. And this guy is... So I'm just deciding whether to go with 2, 6 or 12 horns. Let's try the 6. Not happy with the ending there. Need something more melodic. Or plain same motif there. Damn it. Let's try the 2 horns. And lengthen a little bit the legato. Let's try this. Okay. Gets a little bit of a Marvel feel somehow. I don't mind that. So, maybe combine the 2 horns with the solo horn. So let's keep the percussion in there. So let's try to put around some block chords around this theme, or yeah, theme is a good way to put it, I think. So I'm going to record first with, let's say, the solo trumpet. Just playing the chords. So what I'm going to do now is spread these out into the different patches that we have. So there's something that I gained from orchestration-wise from Colin's demo walkthrough, which I really liked when he was talking about spreading the patches out through different ensemble sizes. So like the top line with the 4 trumpets, the bottom line with the 2 trumpets, and the middle line played by the solo trumpet, so that we actually do it like this. Sorry, middle line. So then suddenly together we're this. Sounds pretty cool in my opinion. And maybe we try to double it with cello maybe? Maybe not with a full section, but let's say we just use half of the section for a melody there. No, that was wrong. So actually at track MIDI. So this is something from the Agitato patches, where there is Grandioso Legato Cellos Divisi, which is pretty cool to have, because full section would be too bold for my taste, because we already have the spiccato running from the cellos. So let's put the it's a different sound than the a little bit more pronounced and definitely need a little bit more. something sounds odd here, maybe in the brass. Okay, there it didn't catch the articulation. So we need to figure out exactly. That's because it was behind the beat there. And for the French horns, the same applies. So having them there. Actually, I need to figure out a way. So I need to find part B to go on with the theme there, but so same that we're going to do with the trombones there. Need to see that together. Let's keep it there. And then we have a bass trombone. I think Colin mentioned that he turned it the other way around with a solo line, bottom line in the solo trumpet. That's a pretty nice orchestration tip there, or harmony, how to handle the harmony there. So solo bass trombone can handle getting pretty dense there, but I think it still sounds pretty cool. Let's see it on its own. So, and then we can do something with the solo bass trombone in the middle. Actually, that was the solo bass trombone. Should sound better. And we need to adjust C11 value. Just figuring out what the middle line between these two could be. Actually, let's bring this guy down. And for this, we can actually use a short note. Let's use a staccato there. So that means we do A to B flat, A to F, F to A to G. Are you 9.5? Yes, I am. Already. I jumped the fence pretty easily right after they released it because I love the automation lanes having Bezier curves. That's good enough. So when we combine this all together in the brass, first of all we need to set it into a key. Well, actually the bass needs to roll. We need to have this one. I have to be honest, I think this is, since quite a while, going to be a two-part walkthrough or composing thing, because I need to finish this one now, and there's nothing nearly done in any way. So when we listen to what we have so far, I think it's already a little bit too dense for the beginning, so we will strip that down. I will work a little bit over the weekend on it, and then we get back to where we actually leave off here. I think on Monday I will try to get into part 2 of the stream. Yeah, on Monday afternoon. So definitely look out for the announcement when the next stream part 2 is going to happen. We definitely need a little bit more to look into it and come up with something a little bit more decent in terms of brass melodies and counter melodies and things like that. So right now it's more of a big pad sound, so I need to put a little bit more thought into it, what we are actually going to do. Although it even sounds great as a pad sound. So more on Monday. Thanks so much for watching so far, and yeah, we are going to get on with new finished or kind of going on piece with this one on Monday. Have a great weekend and talk soon. Bye bye.